In this video, I'm going to go through my results of the Nail Your Niche program. So there's a link below in the description. This is actually a pretty quick 35-minute video with a supplemental guide of 128 proven successful niches that can help you clarify if you've gotten it right. So I came into this exercise with a pretty good idea of what I was hoping to do. So I was able to really drill down and nail my niche as I went along. Now, if you're in a place where you really don't have an idea or a clear idea what your niche is, start with the niche guide and see if anything lights your fire and gets you excited, and then kind of work off of that. Let's get into the actual program here. So question number one was, who am I here to serve? So that's easy. Podcasters and I guess aspiring podcasters. And question two, who do I help specifically? All right, so we're getting a little bit more detail here. I'm here to help podcasters that are not currently using video or have subpar video as part of their podcast strategy. Now, a little bit of an aside, it's something that kind of came up here that's pretty important to me, is that my avatar is not the same thing as my niche. I would use an avatar to write my content to specifically. So like that's the person that I have in mind when I'm like writing my content, but it's not the same as my niche. I don't need to niche down so far to basically to the point of being arbitrary. I'm not looking for, say, 40-year-old males who have a full-time job that are looking into podcasting. While I don't think this was a stumbling block in identifying my niche, I could see how I could have been confused by inadvertently making my avatar my niche as I build out my copy and getting so specific with who my audience is. All right, we'll get back to it. All right, the next question is, what does my audience already want? Now, this is where I need to insert myself into their world because they aren't looking to solve problems or wants they don't know they have. They're not going to hear me. This was a big aha, and you're probably like, this is like no duh, but if I can clearly define what my audience already really wants, I'm like jumping into their brain. I'm jumping into the conversation they are already having with themselves. Like I said, it seems kind of like a duh kind of statement, but if I imagine myself scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I'm only going to stop if it jumps out at me that someone is addressing a problem I want to solve. Luckily for me, Facebook is pretty good at serving up the right feeds to the right people, but I scroll through a ton of stuff, and anything I don't stop at is just noise to me. And that is how I have to think about my audience. It's actually a lot easier to just be noise and not stop the scroll. Now, interestingly enough, when you dig in a bit, nobody actually wants to create a podcast because it's a lot of work. And it's doubly true of adding video to your podcast. You got to be on camera. You have to record yourself. You likely have to edit out a bunch of your mistakes. Now, what they really want is to have a large audience they can monetize. And podcasting is the tool or platform for doing that. So talking about podcasting or adding video is not actually the problem they're looking to solve. Now, what I do know is that they already believe it's a good platform, but what they really want is to make money using the podcast. Now, this is important too, with the least amount of effort possible. And that's what I've got to talk to you. So for the podcasters I'm going to help, I need to put what they want into a sentence using so that. So let me try that. I'm going to teach you how to simply add video to your podcast so that you can monetize your content by more rapidly growing an audience that eagerly consumes everything you produce. Well, that's definitely come a long way from I can help podcasters that are not currently using video or have subpar video as part of their podcast strategy. So big steps in the right direction. I feel really confident that I've got my niche dialed into the appropriate level of specificity at this point. Now, flipping through his niche guide, kind of like the second step here, I actually found another online entrepreneur that has a video podcast academy, which, while I could look at that as competition, I actually see it as validation that I have actually and truly nailed the niche. Like I've come up with something that people want. Somebody's making money off of it. So please check out the link below if you haven't already gone through the Nail Your Niche program yourself. This level of clarity makes a huge difference. All right, we'll see you in that next video.